And welcome out to the Williams County Family YMCA, where tonight the Bryan Golden Bears and the Ayersville Pilots are going to be doing battle here in this dual swim meet. Chris Malanga, Kathryn, Rockey here, and it's good to have you back.
It's glad to be back.
So we're going to get started with our national anthem being brought to you by Veteran Services of Williams County. All right, our national anthem brought to you by Veteran Services of Williams County. So one thing Kathryn, when I looked at this is how small the Ayersville team is.
Yeah, for having such a beautiful facility as they do, yeah, they've always been kind of on the smaller side. And I don't know these new coaches over here since I've been gone, but usually a pretty solid program. Just not a lot of depth.
We see them a lot in the summer swim days.
Yes, they combined Ayersville and Defiance.
Yep. But here we're going to be getting set to go here. And so real quick, let's look at our keys to the game from Coach Luce. Got a chance to talk to her. Basically, she said, finish races strong, fast turns, and if you're in the race, race. She just wants that. She talked about grit mentality.
Oh, absolutely. Swimming is such a sport where you can't quit at any point. A lot of that is you can't see exactly where the people on either side of you are. I've seen many people, they call it getting out-touched at the very end. If you let up before you touch that wall, somebody else can very easily slide right in there. You've got to kick hard all the way. You've got to be fast off those walls. Turns are super, super important, especially in a 50. And then, yeah, you've got to dive in and race the whole time.
So taking a look, we do know that Kate Moss is out tonight. She was originally scheduled to do that, but we're getting set to start up. This will be event number 1, the girls 200 medley relay. In lane 1, we're going to see the Bryan C team. In lane 2, we're going to see Ayersville. In lane 3, we're going to see the Bryan A team. In lane 4, we're going to see Ayersville's A team. And in lane 5, we're going to see Bryan's B team.
This relay is such a unique race as each individual swims a different stroke, and so it's really a good opportunity for those stroke swimmers who don't specialize in freestyle. They're either breaststrokers or butterflyers. It's one more chance for them to really showcase their ability in those different strokes.
So each person will do a down and back with a stroke, and then the next person goes in.
Yes, that first leg is swimming backstroke. That's why they started in the water instead of off the blocks. And then this next leg comes in, and they take over, on the breaststroke. Sometimes get confused because the order in the the individual medley, is slightly different.
Our relays today being brought to you by S&S Directional Boring. Do not let old pipes throw off your pace. S&S Directional Boring installs new main lines, sewer laterals, and field drainage so your home or farm stays in top form. Call 419-630-0729 today. S&S does it right the first time. So they're doing all of our relays tonight. So we thank them.
You say that third leg for the Bryan A team just dove in to do the butterfly. That's what the rest of these swimmers will be diving in as soon as that breaststroker comes in and touches the wall.
So lane 3 is the Bryan A relay. And
that's Jalen Mojica coming in right now. And Nadia Moore will take over on the freestyle.
racing in here. And they'll get first place, 1:58.75. And then all other teams still going.
Yep, that lane 1, the freestyler just dove in. Although down here in lane 5, Ayersville just finished. Oh, sorry, Bryan, yeah. She had blue goggles.
She has blue goggles, you're right.
It threw me off.
Throw us off all night. Annie Koonsman with that last leg there.
Yeah, Koonsman is a name well known in this
absolutely.
facility. I think it's pretty cool, though. I think it was the older sister was a senior when Nora was a freshman, and now Nora's a senior when Annie's a freshman. So a little family tradition there.
So Bryan A will pick up first place. Bryan B will pick up second place. In third place, it's going to be Ayersville A. Fourth place, Ayersville B. And then Bryan C is in fifth place. So this will bring up the boys' version of this.
Event number 2, boys 200-yard medley relay.
So in lane 3, we've got Bryan A. In lane 4, we've got Ayersville A. And in lane 5, Bryan B. Exact same strokes. They're starting with the breaststroke here.
Backstroke.
Backstroke.
Nope, it's all good.
I know what I meant to say.
I gotcha. And these relays are so important. They're worth more points than an individual, and so it's very helpful in a case like this when Bryan has 2 relays.
Yep.
Just gives you those more points toward that end score.
So as we're going through, let's talk about that scoring a little bit, how it's built up. So it's each race will give you points.
Yes.
Your points will go up, and we're competing as a girls' meet and a boys' meet.
Yes,
even
two
though we're
two completely separate teams, even though they're run together and offset the events. But yeah, each place earns your team points. So that's where depth comes in handy.
So the more kids you have, the more time.
Exactly. Right now, if we only had the one relay versus the Ayersville relay, one's going to get first, one's going to get second. But in this case, Bryan has a chance to get
first and second,
yep. Or even first and third wouldn't be a bad option. You definitely, depth is good. And that's where schools, small schools like Ayersville, they might struggle a little bit just because they don't have enough people to form multiple relays. And Bryan's always been a pretty big team, and that's been very beneficial for them.
So Bryan coming back here in lane 3.
Yeah, I'm thinking we might see this relay in lane 3 coming into tournament time. I think that's one that these kids are looking at. There's Carter Luce that just dove in for the freestyle.
He's coming back, basically a full leg ahead of the next second place team.
Yeah,
so
they're constantly trying to.
Bears will finish 147.68. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, I was looking at the same thing, almost 5 seconds faster than their time coming in, which is what you want to see. You want to see that time dropping, getting closer and closer to that time to hopefully get them down to, over to BG and then down to Canton. I know those boys have been gunning for that for a couple years.
So after this one, we'll get out of relay for a little bit, and we'll get into some individual stuff.
Yep, we'll start off with that 200 freestyle, which is 8 laps, all freestyle.
So Bears got first and second there, by the way, in that race. And this will bring up event 3, the girls 200-yard freestyle. Bears have Lila Brock, Sydney Luce. Lanes 1 and 3, Gwen Hibbard from Ayersville's in 4, and Nadia Moore's in 5 for the Bears.
And this is one of those distance races. This is very different from a sprint. This is more about pacing than about swimming as fast as you can. You've got to get the right tempo down. This is where your walls are super important, especially when you get deeper into this race and you get tired. That's why her comment about using your walls and fast turns is really, really important here, just to give you any kind of boost you can.
So this is kind of a middle distance on the 200 because your long one's the 500.
Yeah, 500 is the longest, 200 is the next one.
This would be like the mile in track.
Yes, mile or even a little bit of the 800.
Yep.
I don't know, I was not a distance runner intentionally, but
you can see the quick turns coming in.
yeah, those were both really good walls. One of the keys is making sure you don't pop up off of that wall and immediately take a breath. That slows down all of your momentum.
What always amazes me as we watch swimming is how much distance they can get off their jump in and how far down the pool before they even come up for even stroke.
Absolutely,
or
absolutely.
So during this race, they have to, the turn happen. So the purple and white flags have to do with when they can turn?
Yes, it serves several purposes. It gives them a count for their turns, especially in backstroke, since you can't see the wall. When you see the flags, you know where your stroke is. And it helps when you're pushing off that wall, kind of give you a guideline of, she constantly tells them, do not come up before the flags.
Gotcha.
That's what your push is. Get your streamline, get a good enough kick that you're swimming out past those flags before you pop up.
I always like to see Coach over there encouraging.
Oh yeah, she does not stand still. There comes Nadia in, finishing in first with a 2:20. Which looks like a pretty good time for her. Yeah, one time I had to fill in for Coach Luce when she was ill, and I did not know all of the movements. I did my best, but several of the swimmers popped up and said, I don't even know what you're saying. I said, I don't either. But they know, so they know what she's telling them.
And freshman Lila Block will finish it up in lane 1. So Bears go 1, 2, and 4. And this will bring up the boys' version of this race. This is a crowded one. This will have all lanes here. And interestingly enough, we have a Hicksville swimmer with us for this one in lane 6. Clay Marshman. Hicksville must not have enough of a team.
So this is the second time that a swimmer from Hicksville does not have a swim team.
Gotcha.
They made an agreement, passed a whatever it is with their board. We had it many, many years ago. Not many, but with another athlete from there who the agreement is, yep, they swim with Bryan. It counts as a varsity sport for Hicksville. They practice here. Their meet schedule is the same as ours. And then in a meet, Bryan gives up one of their lanes. In a dual meet, you get 3 lanes, the other team gets 3 lanes. And that's kind of the agreement between Bryan and Hicksville to allow Clay to swim with Bryan as he gets one of the lanes. Being an individual, he can only swim in 2 races per meet. That's the rules. You can swim in 2 relays and 2 individuals, or 3 relays and 1 individual. So you're only giving up a lane for 2 races, but it works really well for, an athlete whose school doesn't have the program. I know a lot of other area schools do it. I think there's girls from Archbold that have swum, and I think even Tenora had some a couple years ago. So just works with these schools that do have facilities.
It's a great chance to do that.
It sure is.
Like lane 2 over there, which would be Mason Doda's in the lead right now. But then on the turn, what a nice job by Griffin Boehm to take on the turn.
Griffin pulled ahead. That was a great use of his wall.
Absolutely.
Plus Griffin's really tall. He's got that long. Yeah, he pulled ahead there.
And Griffin will come in first place with a 2:01.57. Nice job by him. Ayersville will come in that second place. And then Simon Kellogg comes in third. Let's see. Carter Luce comes in 4th. Clay Marshman comes in 6th.
5th.
And then, or 5th, sorry,
Yeah.
5th. And then
Lane
the last,
6.
Yeah, lane 6. And then Dylan Shook from Ayersville will be the last one in here. All pretty close times, though.
Yeah, those are pretty good times for a 200 at this point in the season.
And we're heading to the event number 5, which is the girls 200 IM.
Yeah, this will be kind of similar to the first relay we saw. This is where one individual. Sorry, this each individual swimmer swims all 4 strokes.
So Mojica in 1, Comden from Ayersville in 2, McKenna Myers in 3, Coble from Ayersville in 4, and Alanaki in 5. And so this is the butterfly backstroke breaststroke freestyle. So it's it's sort of like the
Yeah, it's kind of like that relay, but all from one, and it's just the jack of all strokes, if you will.
So they'll do a down and back in the first stroke and then switch strokes.
Yep, it's a 50 of each, so they'll finish up on butterfly here, switch into backstroke.
Looks like lane 1 Mojica is in the lead. So officials, we have an official on each side, and they're right now looking for what as the swimming is going on.
They are looking to make sure that the stroke is being swum properly and correctly. They're looking for, did the athlete touch the wall? In an instance like this, as these girls are coming in off of backstroke, is one where you cannot roll over and do a regular flip turn into the breaststroke. That's one of the rules with the IM. So they're making sure, you'll watch as these girls come in, that they'll touch the wall on their backs. Down here, Eden's about to do it. Yep, and then have to go forward. So they're making sure the flip turns or non-flip turns in that case are valid, making sure if it's a stroke that you swim with both hands, like butterfly or breaststroke, you're touching the wall with both hands. Just making sure all of the technicalities are being followed and that everything's legit.
Mojica coming back with the breaststroke. She'll finish in freestyle.
I like to think they saved the easiest stroke for the end.
Mojica's got a pretty big lead over there.
She does, yeah.
Lane 1. Here she comes in. And she'll finish with a 235 something.
Yeah, 235 something.
I don't know why I didn't.
Sometimes if you don't hit the front of the touchpad, if you're coming in and your hand kind of comes over on the top, it doesn't always register. Oh,
234.71. There you go.
And it just takes a minute to get that time in. But that's why we have backup timers too, in case the touchpad doesn't work. There's technically 3 timers per lane. We've got the touchpads and then 2 human timers just to make sure everything's backed
Second
up.
one coming in, Aliakian at 304. And then Comden from Ayersville. And then Coble from Ayersville. Myers is finishing up strong here in lane 3.
Good finish for her as well.
All right, so now the boys will do the 200-yard IM. Same thing, 3 racers here. Will McCann is in lane 3. Lewis Zimmerman from Ayersville will be in lane 4. And then Josh Sampson is in lane 5.
Oh, we got a problem with the lane line down there, or the touchpad. Yep, it wasn't responding. That's why it didn't show her time. So we're going to try and fix it.
So they're adjusting that. Again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you about the medley, individual medley, butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, freestyle, the 4 strokes in that order. Now we'll get those three racers into the pool they go. Bryan fans are looking for lanes 3 and 5. McCann is in lane 3. It's a close race all for
Yeah,
all
they
three.
look pretty evenly. At this point, it could be anybody. You don't know which stroke is a swimmer's
Right.
strong stroke.
So into back now. Ayersville's made up a little bit of ground.
Yeah, he looks like a backstroker. That might
Yep.
be where that's what might be his specialty. So he might pull away a little bit here.
All three still really close.
Yeah, this will be a great race. And that's what's good, even when you have a small school like Ayersville, they've got such good, solid athletes that it's still a race, it's still pushing yourself, nothing's just a given. Yeah, that kid's definitely a backstroker. There's that non-flip turn again.
And he's made up a lot of time there. He's gotten a pretty decent lead. That's Lewis Zimmerman from Ayersville.
We'll see if Will or Josh can make up that distance coming into the freestyle. Oh, Will
Nice
had
job
a
there
really
by Will.
really good push off that wall, really good streamline. Let's see how they pan out in this last leg.
Sampson will make his turn into the freestyle. Here in lane 5. Gets a nice push. It'll be a race for the finish. Turn made. Zimmerman is doing a great job in lane 4.
Yeah, he's holding on to that lead. Yep, I think you're going to see Zimmerman in first.
Yep, he'll get there at 2:13.70. McCann just a second and a tenth behind. And then Sampson's going to be within 10 seconds. So real close race all around.
They're disqualifying Will for something, but
Oh.
I'm not sure what for.
Event number 7, girls 50-yard freestyle, heat 1 of 2.
In a race like that where you've got all the different strokes, there's so many
Yeah.
intricacies and little pieces.
So this will be a 2-heat race. The 50-yard free, just fast down and back. And she's changed up some of these. So this is not going to be accurate. We've added a couple more people. Nicolette Stickney will be in lane 1, Lila Brock in 2, Allie Anakian, Arella in 3, Adeline Hake in 4, and Victoria Fry in lane 5. That was a late add before our graphics could get updated. This is just 2 lengths down and back, so it's
Yes,
fast.
this is the fastest race. It's all, there's a saying, whoever kicks the most wins. It is all.
Looks like we only have 3 though, so I'm not sure who isn't.
I'm seeing, I think Nicolette, I know that's Hake in 4 and Alianakian in 3. Or no, not Nicolette, I'm sorry. I think that's Lila Brock
Yeah.
in 2.
Okay, so it was Brock and then Ali Anakian and
Hake.
Hake.
Yes.
Okay, so sometimes we get surprised.
And they're so hard to tell when they have the
Yep.
caps on.
So this one is Lily Pittman in 1, Gabriella Miles from Ayersville in 2, Annie Koonsman in 3, Callie Sproul from Ayersville in 4, Drew Smith in 5, Emily Mannon from Ayersville in 6. Another quick down and back and big splash there on this side.
Yeah.
Official blocked us there.
Yes. There's always that unsaid joke. You don't get an official wet.
Lanes 3 and 5 are real close here.
This will be a good race.
And let's see, it's going to be lane 3.
I think
That'll
that's
be
Annie.
Koonsman.
Yeah.
And then Drew Smith right behind her.
Looks like she's taken after the older Koonsman.
Yeah, less than a tenth of a second.
That's
finishes
fantastic.
first and second. But the whole race is less than 10 seconds again.
And that's what's amazing when you get down to that state meet and you're watching that 50 free, and all 8 times in a heat are within a full second. They're all less than tenths apart.
All right, so we're going to the boys 50 free. This should be Chris Allspaw and Logan Slattery. Allspaw will be in 3, Slattery in 4. And again, this is just that down and back, so quick race.
Normally you have 1 heat per race except for the 50 and sometimes the 100, just with them being they're the 2 fastest races of a meet. So they'll sometimes try and add in extra heats, let some swimmers get in there.
So Slattery will finish first and Allspaw basically a second and a half behind.
Yeah.
So just quick. So this will bring up the second heat there. 3 Bryan, 3 Ayersville. Pedro Lugo, Samuel Brown, Brendan Roberts, Levi Carrier, Jess Hendricks, and Dylan Phillips. Bears are looking at 1, 3, and 5 for your lanes.
Something I saw, somebody was moving or a computer was not working.
It's not reset up top there.
Yep, probably a glitch over there. They don't want those athletes' muscles to get, yep, they'll pull them down when you've got a system to fix like that. Just let them get down and kind of loosen up. And
while we're doing that, we can quickly thank our sponsors, the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Northwest State Community College, Bryan Athletic Boosters, and Veteran Services of Williams County, our sponsors today, bringing you the game. This is one of 2 swim meets that we'll do.
yes,
We have the meet that we
in January.
traditionally do at the end of the season against BG. So as a relation, we talk about going down to state, Canton, but talk about where we are in the season. Is it early? Are we early in the season?
We are finishing up what is probably the first third of the
Okay.
season. They just came off of Thanksgiving break where they put in some yardage. They've got a couple meets between now and Christmas. And so they're starting to figure out maybe where they're going to line up. Come Christmas break, it is solid yardage, getting in the water, kind of beating their bodies up a little bit. And then after coming back in January, end of January, about the time for our next show, it'll be that third, trimester, if you want to call it, where it's all about decreasing yardage, working on speed and agility. They start tapering, getting ready for those tournaments that are second week of February.
Good battle here between lanes 3 and 4. And it's going to be touching the wall first. It'll be Carrier, and he'll be Brendan Roberts just by 4/10 of a second. Once again, all the times really quick.
Yeah, and that's what you're saying. It all comes down to that touch to make sure you drive yourself all the way into that wall.
Bears go second, 5th, and 6th in that race.
Yep. Now they usually take a break. They put diving in. A lot of swimmers you'll have swim both the 50 and the 100. Many will also swim the 50 and the fly, so this kind of gives them, those races are rather close together. So they usually put diving in here as events 9 and 10 to give those swimmers a break. So they'll work on moving the flags, and they'll move the lane lines over and let the divers get back warmed up a little bit.
So we're going to take our break here. We're going to thank all of our sponsors, and we will be back after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Back on the Golden Bear Sports Network, it is Bryan and Ayersville. We're in the diving portion of this swim meet. It's going to be Cameron Mills for Bryan and Griffin Diaz for Bryan. They're going to basically alternate dives, and we'll let you talk about that here in a second. Real quick, we do want to thank some of our other sponsors who do sponsor other elements. Our keys to the game generally are brought to you by Carlin Company. We want to thank Tri-State Vision Center for our officials every year. And actually, we can pull the officials graphic up because we actually do have our officials tonight. Rusty Poole and Mark Hall. That's brought to you by Tri-State Vision Center. We want to thank Welling Construction, who generally does our replays. We don't have any replays tonight of swim, just based on the number of cameras we have. We also want to thank Brian Ford for helping out, and S&S Directional Boring is sponsoring all of our relays tonight. And I think that's everybody. If I'm forgetting somebody, John will talk in my ear and tell me that I'm forgetting somebody who he normally thinks about. So I'll let you. You were the diving coach here for a lot of years.
Yeah,
so
this
I think this
was
is your
my
part.
area
Like,
for
I'm going to set the headset
many,
down.
many
I'm just going
years.
to go away.
Oh, okay,
have
that's
a
fine.
snack
Go take a
and-
break. Go get a coffee break.
So tell us a little bit about what right now they're just practicing.
Yeah, they're just warming up. They did a warm up before the meet, but getting themselves back to familiar with the board. They'll get a couple jumps, a couple entries in, and at this point, they've got some dives that they have solid in their repertoire, and they might be trying some new ones. Just to kind of see, the bulk of that will happen over the winter break, where you really try and push yourself to that next dive, maybe adding another flip or a rotation, or trying to see how you can bump up your degree of difficulty. When you're scoring and diving, it's based on how well you do the dive, obviously, and it's based on the degree of difficulty assigned to it. So you want harder dives going into tournaments, but you also have to do them well, and it's kind of finding that right balance.
So talk a little bit about what they're adjusting on the board, because I notice as they go up, they'll come in and make adjustments.
Yes, so they adjust the fulcrum, kind of where that wheel is on the board in terms of how much bounces on the other end. You'll see some divers prefer it all the way back, which for me anyway always made it kind of harder to control. Obviously towards the front kind of limits that bouncing. It's all on how you use it. I've seen really big, strong divers keep it all the way to the front because they can manage it themselves. I've seen excellent board control with the fulcrum all the way back. It just is adjusting how far down that board will go towards the end. And sometimes you change it for each dive depending on what you need and how big of a jump do you need. The official right now is asking if I want to judge. And I'm very thankful I cannot judge. It was the worst part. I hated judging.
So who does judge?
You always have one of your swim officials at least. And then it's usually the coaches. If there's only one official that wants to judge, a coach from both schools will. In a case like this, where it's only one school diving, we've got both officials over here, Rusty Poole and Mark Hall, and then we've got one of the Bryan coaches, Caden Ward. It's good to get, both sides and get a non-partial or I can't talk. A non-partial judge in there as well. And they're looking for different things. They're looking for the use of the board. They're looking for height, finesse. Are they hitting the positions? Are they executing the dive at the level they need to be? They're looking at the entry. Is it solid? Is it as straight and perpendicular to the water as you can get? Where is its distance off the board? You don't obviously want it too close that you're in fear of hitting it, but you don't want to be clear out in the middle of the pool. There's just kind of that sweet spot, and they're waiting on the divers to get going.
Now, tell me a little bit about you talk about degree of difficulty things. Who decides what dive they're going to be doing?
It depends on who your coach is and kind of their mood. Sometimes it is the divers. Many times during a meet, the coach will, in a meet like this where we only have Bryan kids, they may have let them choose what dives they're going to do. Sometimes the coach will say, no, I want to see this. If the diver doesn't care, the coach will do the whole sheet. There is a weekly dive rotation, so there is one dive they are required to do. And in listening, this is back week, so they are required to start with a back dive or a back somersault. And I think he just said Cameron's going to do a back somersault. Yep, that was a back somersault straight. That was really nice. She might have had a little twist on the bottom. You saw that left shoulder pull back a little bit.
6.5
But overall, that was an excellent dive.
How many points are per dive, per judge?
It's a score out of 10.
Okay.
At this level, you really want to see an average of minimum 6s from a judge.
So here's Griffin Davies.
back dive straight, also really nice. You start off with a lower degree of difficulty to start with. There's limits in how high your DD can be to start off with, and then they have kind of free reign on which ones they do, and you just have to hit 4 of the 5 dive categories between front, back, reverse, inward, and straight in your remaining dives, but you can do them in any order. You can do them in any position. I think they called her on a front somersault. Front 1.5 tuck, actually.
Nice
Really good height.
dive there. Yeah, she got some height there.
A little short on the bottom. And the officials are also there to make sure that the diver does the dive that was called, making sure it's the one that they were supposed to do.
So our announcer is calling out numbers. Those are specifically dives that...
Yes, it is a whole process. Each position and each direction has its own number. So for Griffin, for example, they called a 203, so 2 means it's going backwards, 3 means it's 1.5. And I believe he called it position C, so he'll be doing a back 1.5 somersault in tuck. Yep. And when you get to bigger invitationals and long meets, many times they will just say the number. They will just call 203C instead of the whole description to try and move things along when you have 40, 50 divers going.
A backward single somersault with 1 twist in a free position. Degree of difficulty 1.9. Backward 1 somersault, 1 twist, free position.
Cameron's doing a back somersault with a full twist. Looks like she might be nervous on this one. Might be new, just one she doesn't fully have down yet. Actually, that was not bad. She over twisted a little bit, and so they'll dock her on that, but the execution was pretty good. It just looked like she was uncomfortable.
4, 5. Griffin's third dive is dive 303, reverse
so
1
it's,
1/2
first chance
somersault
to-
in the tuck position, degree of difficulty 2.1, reverse 1 1/2 tuck.
Griffin's coming in as a senior. He's been at the state meet. So for him, it'll just be perfecting ones he has, maybe pushing himself onto some new dives to try. Reverse 1.5 somersault in tuck. My least favorite dive, as any diver I've ever coached will tell you. I have nightmares from that dive.
1 1/2, 4.
It's hard on the, and he's
Cameron's
really
next
good at
dive is
his
dive
kickouts
1.
on both that back 1.5 and that reverse 1.5. They're blind entries. You can't see the water.
Degree of difficulty 1.6. Frontward 1 1/2 somersault, tuck position.
She'll adjust the fulcrum there.
I think there's confusion on the dive here because she's already done the front 1.5 tuck. So my guess is she'll ask them to clarify the dive, or they'll figure out what happened to the previous dive. I'm wondering if maybe she was supposed to do something else and she performed the wrong dive. That one was better than the first one. And that's why it's important for these officials too. There's all these classes and certifications and tests to go through to be an official. And diving in many cases is kind of pushed to the bottom. We are very lucky in the officials that come here that have that knowledge and understanding to be able to judge diving, to know the rules and the legalities of it. That was beautiful. That was an inward 1.5. That was absolutely gorgeous. Great entry, great top.
6, 7, 6 and 1/2.
Yeah, 6, 6.5, and 7. Those are, that was a good dive. That was a good dive for him.
401, an inward dive, tuck position, degree of difficulty 1.4. Inward dive, tuck position.
And Cameron's also going to do an inward. She's just doing a dive. Very important to get your stance solid to where you're comfortable, especially going backwards.
A little bit rotation.
Yes,
there.
a little bit over rotation, which means that she's ready for the flip, but definitely need to pull back on that a little bit for the dive. But I think she's just getting her footing, especially when you come in as a freshman.
Is there a lot of diving in the summer program?
There's the same program that we have for the summer swimmers. Yeah, there's practice. It's usually about the first 6 weeks of summer. He's asking them to repeat it. He must not have heard it.
Upward 2 somersault, pike position.
And this is also usually a conversation that they have to make sure they have before the meet begins, is that the athlete knows what dives they're doing and in what order. It seemed like maybe Griffin didn't know that this dive was next. Doesn't seem to have bothered him. Nope, not at all.
Lots of
That was
height
a
there.
very solid dive. That's what's good for Griffin, especially having been in the program, that he's going to be comfortable doing pretty much any dive up there. But you definitely want to make sure you're mentally prepared for the specific dive you're supposed to be doing.
2 somersault, tuck position, degree of difficulty 2.0. Backward 2 somersault, tuck position.
And they just called her for a back 2 somersaults tuck.
This will be her last dive.
Yep, she's going to give herself a little adjustment there. And like I said, this is a great time to be trying new ones, especially, I mean, when you're the only female diver, as long as you don't disqualify yourself. You can try new things out, see what works, what doesn't. She's getting good feedback from both her coach over here judging and the one back by the wall, so they'll make some adjustments here and there, and I think they have Wasion next week, which is going to be very competitive. Hey, she nailed it. I wasn't sure. That definitely looks like a new one. She's got to work on the kick out on the bottom, but right now she was just focused on getting around. Yeah, going into the cannonball as she did, it'll lower her score, but if she can adjust that kick out to come in straight, that'll be a good dive for her.
Dive 105, a frontward 2 1/2 somersault in the tuck position, degree of difficulty 2.4.
So he just gave a degree of difficulty of 2.4. So how difficult? What's the most
This is a
difficult?
front 2.5, and it's pretty tough. The highest I've ever seen is an inward double, and that's a 2.8. But this one's up there. This one's one of the higher DDs. You'll see a lot of male divers, and he nailed that one too. You'll see a lot of male divers, especially as you hit tournament time, competing 2.5s.
6 1/2.
Yeah, when you can get 6s and 7s on a 2.4 degree difficulty, that is going to be one of his higher scoring dives. Absolutely, they both did very well.
So that'll wrap up the diving portion. We're going to take another timeout. When we come back, we will get back to swimming here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. And we're back here at the Williams County Family YMCA. Ayersville and Bryan here, swim meet. Chris Malanga, Kathryn, Rockey.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Got Monica Maynez and Trinity Sampson on camera. Gabby Malanga's in there running robos. John Dalrymple pushing all the buttons. It's going well.
This is quite the setup.
Yeah.
I think Bryan's pretty darn lucky that we have this.
I got a little nervous when I looked at all of our cameras and they were all fogged over. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
They were out in the
Oh, yeah.
cold and now they're here in the mist. So hopefully they've
The Y
cleared up
is that
here.
environment that's not great with technology. But
So we're heading into the event 11. They're clearing the pool right now. It's the girls 100-yard butterfly. Jalen Mojica is in lane 1. Annie Koonsman's in lane 3. Alyssa Coble from Ayersville is in lane 4, and Eden Alianakian will be in lane 5.
they're looking for Annie Koonsman.
Looking for Annie Koonsman.
Apparently she was not quite ready.
That's funny. I know Coachy doesn't like it when you miss an event.
She does not. But it's possible that maybe Annie didn't know she was swimming it, or she got caught up. I've seen kids come sprinting down that pool deck when it's their turn to be up. You do not want to miss a race.
Absolutely not. We're in event 11 here. The long event is going to be the event 15 and 16 when we get to the 500.
Yeah, that one's a trek.
Yes, it is. It's like the 2-mile track.
Kind of zone out for a
Yep,
while,
you
go to
do.
the concession stand.
I'm not sure I like walking 500 yards, let alone swimming it. So
Definitely not. What I've seen over here, you've got a lot of families that have been a part of this program.
Yep.
Swimming's just that kind of sport that
Yep.
it trickles down. We talked about the older Koonsmans. The oldest Alianikian boy swam a couple years ago. It kind of stays in the family, and
it's such a good sport that like it's a family atmosphere as
Yes.
well. It's not like everybody has a chance, you know what I mean? Everybody's rooting you on. It just seems like we've only been involved in summer swim for a couple of years, but just that kind of environment's really, really cool.
it is. Everybody is very supportive. You're not going to sit the bench in swimming. You get that chance to compete, whether you're really, really quick or you're just learning. You still get to be involved. Coachy gives everybody every possible chance. It's a very, very inclusive sport. Looks like Jalen Mojica will come in first with a 1:10.
Koonsman will come in second.
Ooh, there's a race right here. Lanes 4 and 5.
And it'll be a sweep for the Bears. No,
Yeah, looks like Eden got
Oh,
herself right in there.
she did.
That's where that grit comes in, because that butterfly is tiring.
So we're in event 12 now, the boys version of this. Bears have lanes 3 and 5 with Logan Slattery and Brendan Roberts. A couple of Ayersville kids as well, although I only see 3 up there. So
I only see Dylan Tressler.
So we have an Ayersville that has dropped. Looks like lane 2 was the one that dropped. Again, this is down and back, down and back. Out of the 4 strokes, which is the toughest to swim, in your opinion? I mean,
Well, yeah, in my opinion, I say butterfly. Partly because I could never do it very well. Partly because it just is so draining. But the people who excel at butterfly, they'll tell you breaststroke or backstroke. I always found butterfly the most difficult to get the stroke down, to coordinate your arms and your shoulders with your hips and your legs. There's just a lot of moving pieces.
yeah, for sure.
But it looks the coolest, I will say.
It's like coming in, it's going to be Ayersville.
Ooh, with a 57.
That's Dylan Tressler, and if his seed time is right, he beat his seed time.
Yeah, that's a really good swim. Really good time for a 100 fly.
Roberts will come in second, Slattery in third. And we jump to the girls 100-yard freestyle now, event 13. Now we've got 2 heats. We originally had 2 heats, so we'll see if we continue to have 2 heats. It looks like Lily Pittman and Adeline Hake. I can never tell who they are with swim caps and goggles, but
yeah, you have to learn
we'll go with
who
that.
they are. Yeah, that's them. And this is another one of those races where they usually will allow more than 1 heat because it goes so quick.
It's kind of like the 100 track. You
yes.
know, they let everybody run the 100
They let
track.
everybody run it.
Yep.
You know, some people it's their specialty. Some people they're just learning. They haven't, you know, found where they're going to slide yet. I think it's also one of the most coveted races. When you ask them, what do you want to swim? Everybody says the 50 and 100 because they're the 2 shortest.
So if you are if you are out there practicing on a normal day at the beginning of the season, how much are you swimming in one go around? Like early on in the season? A lot, right?
Yes, not an excessive amount. That will hit these kids in about 3 weeks.
Okay.
But swimming is one of those conditioning sports. You have to constantly be conditioning. It's not like a lot of sports where you do all your running and stuff at the start of the season and then it's all plays and agilities. Swimming, you're constantly having to keep yourself in top shape. So they, depending on their weekly schedule and the point of the season, sometimes they'll swim a couple 1,000 yards. On the heavier days, they'll hit up into those double digits. That's what they're going to see over Christmas break when they've got those nice long practices to really get some yardage in.
Pittman first in this heat, and Hake is second in the heat. And we've got heat 2 now of this same race.
Event 13, girls 100-yard freestyle, heat 2.
We had originally Kate Moss was to be in this, but she has dropped. So lanes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bears have Nadia Moore in 3 and Drew Smith in 5.
Should be another pretty good race. And yet another one where that push off the wall, your flip turn, your streamline, very, very, very important. Can give you any kind of edge.
Halfway done, heading into the second half. Nadia Moore's in the lead, but close behind is Drew Smith. Could be a big battle in the final 25.
Yes, and we've got Nadia's a junior and Drew's a senior, so they've been around. They know what's expected. We'll see them hopefully battle into the end.
Nadia will get in with a 101.6, and she actually beats her seed time.
And so did Drew with that 104.17. That's what you want to see. You want to see constantly drop time. Won't be a ton of PRs quite yet, unless you're Nora Koonsman. But they'll start hitting them, and then especially come end of January, early February, hopefully we'll see lots of PRs.
All right, boys will do this now. 100-yard freestyle, just 6 in this one. Zach Schaefer for the Bears is in lane 1. Logan Carter in lane 3. Josh Sampson in 5. And Pedro Lugo is in 6. Big splash right there for us.
And we've got 2 newer swimmers in this event. I know that Zach and Josh have been on the team, but Logan Carter is a senior who decided to dual sport this year and try swimming as well as wrestling. And then Pedro Lugo's new. Got a battle here in lanes 4 and 5.
Yep.
And even down there in 1, which is absolutely what you want to see. See them fight, see what kind of grit they have.
Levi Carrier of Ayersville was the leader right after that turn, or as he came to the wall the first time. He's in lane 4. So again, as you said, that 4 and 5 battle. Actually, lane 1 might run 5.
Yeah, Josh
job there
Sampson's
by
going to come
Josh
in
Sampson.
first, and
then Zach Schaefer will come in second, and then third will be Levi Carrier from Ayersville. And Logan Carter is fishing up here. Pedro Lugo as well.
you'll see them down there congratulating each other as well. That's another great thing about swimming. They're your opponents, but it's good sportsmanship.
All right, so this is the long one. This is the girls 500 free. We're going to see Nora Kuzman in lane 1, Nicolette Stickney and Lydia Meeks for the Bears.
It does not surprise me that Nicolette, being the cross-country runner that she is doing a distance one.
Yep.
This is 20 laps, all freestyle, to the point where down in the shallow end they have the counters so you don't miscount. And this is all about tempo, keeping a pace. This is excellent pace work for them. They usually have, you figure out what you want your end time to be and figure out where you need to be at each 100, at each 50.
So obviously, Nora Kuzman's kind of the one to beat in this kind of race.
Yeah, and she's just one of those athletes. She's normally a sprinter, but she can come in here in a distance and still hold her own. She understands how to adjust, you know, her normal swimming practices to do a distance meet instead.
If you're a sprinter, do you like running this race, or is this tough?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Maybe
some of them.
In track, the same way. Like if you're the distance run, if you're a sprinter, you don't want to go do a 1600. Or
Yeah,
even
you don't want to
800.
do the mile if you normally swim the 100 and the 200. Or
Yeah.
run the 100 and the 200.
Yep.
Yeah, you might find the odd occasional sprinter that doesn't mind a distance, but normally there's a very intense dislike for these longer races. But then again, the ones that swim the longer ones don't always love the fast sprinting ones.
Yep.
So each has their own.
Nora's on her 6th length right now.
Yep, and you'll see the clock's keeping the pace, coaches are keeping the pace, and she's about to signal. You see her signaling over there to Nora. She was telling her to pick it up a little bit, so Nora must be wanting to go a little bit quicker. But that's where it's so important to be able to find your coach on the side of the deck and let them kind of guide you to where you need to be if you're going too fast, if you're going too slow. Assuming the swimmer looks at their coach. I heard many of them say they intentionally breathe to the other side so they don't have to see her tell them, pick it up.
Yeah, because you also don't want to go too fast and then lose, run your tank dry.
Yeah, you don't want to take it out too quick and you'll lose it all towards the end, but you also don't want to start too slow that you've got too big of a gap to make up. There's definitely some strategy in here.
I think Nora might be a full length ahead.
Yeah.
Because I think these people are coming in at 9.
Yep, they're coming into 9. She's down there coming into 11.
Yep. So she's 2 lengths ahead. Halfway through.
Yeah, halfway, and some of them you'll see will start to pick it up as they get into those last couple 50s. This one, I always say this race is just about willpower.
Yeah.
You just have to force yourself to keep going.
I
remember the time she put me in the 100 and I barely made it. I don't understand how they get through this, but. Yep, coach is over there on the side, telling somebody to pick it up. Somebody's not swimming fast enough. Many will run into the habit, too, in these long races of not kicking they'll just start pulling with their arms
Yep.
because it's less effort. And that can destroy your pacing. Obviously, it will hurt you in the end run. Yep, she's over there telling Nora right now, kick your feet, kick your feet.
And I think we also have the bell here, don't we, as we get?
Yes, when they hit that last 50, the official has a bell to let that swimmer know you're on your last one. Because I have seen it happen where swimmers have stopped short. And I've also seen them keep going when they didn't realize it was, they're usually
You don't wanna keep
angry in
going.
both situations, but to swim more than a 500, they don't usually want to do that.
So just 3 lengths left to go for Nora. She's sitting at a 4:42 right now.
Yep, the official's coming over right now with that bell. We'll hear it ring in a minute once she comes in and touches this wall.
It's always funny to me. There's so many, so long this race takes that the timers will even like walk away for a little bit.
Yes, especially if you don't have somebody in your lane. And when you get into tournaments, especially that sectional meet, when there's 8 heats of this 500 and you're looking at almost half an hour of swimming, it's usually when we go get a lunch break if we don't have somebody swimming. Nora will come in at a 5:33.32.
She didn't have a seed time coming in, so not sure where that compares.
That I am not. She looks
Stick
pretty
these at
tired over
3.
there. And this may not be a race that she competes. She might stick with her sprints, but
She does look really tired over there.
as would I. As would I.
Lydia Meeks is on her last 25. So she'll come in second, barring anything crazy.
Yep, there's Lydia.
6:26.
Nicolette's got a 50 to go.
Stickney will be coming in for her at 7:10.73. It's a little bit off her pace.
Event number 16, boys 500-yard freestyle.
Coming up for the boys, we have Clay Marshman again from Hicksville. There's that Hicksville swimmer. He must be a distance guy. Swim the 200 and the 500.
Allspaw. I just realized that Christopher Allspaw is too long for our graphics. We just have Christopher. And Simon Kellogg at 5.
I about thought you were going to say too long for the screen because he is pretty tall.
So again, 20 lengths here.
You've got Kellen Foreman from Ayersville in lane 4 and Simon Kellogg, Bryan, lane 5. Looks like Allspaw's taking a bit of an early lead. Kellogg's right behind him. even Marshman down in lane 2. These boys are a bit spread out.
Boy, Allspaw and Kellogg are just right there.
And that's what you hope. You want somebody close to you, so you have somebody to race. You don't want to get too far behind. Yep. And sometimes you'll see somebody who's ahead enough that they don't see somebody coming up behind them. And that can put you in danger as well. Not know where you stand. It's not like running where you can look. It's a bit harder.
Yeah, especially if they're all the way across the pool.
Somebody's in lane 6 and the next person's lane 1.
I do like that they usually put the fastest kids in the middle.
Yes.
Lanes 3 and 4, 5.
And you'll see that a lot too when you hit those tournament meets. A bit of a circle C, try and put those fast kids to where you're going to race. And then occasionally you get that outside sweep. Somebody comes out of lane 6 or lane 8. It's also important in these races, especially between the swimmer and the counter down there, that they've got a good connection.
Yep.
You'll see the the counters will look to coach to see what pace, what they need to tell the swimmer, because if you can't find your coach on deck, you can certainly see your number down there, and they'll move it in specific ways.
Oh, so the way that they're putting it in the pool means something?
Yes. Sometimes they'll give you a sign that says you're in a good pace, keep it up. They'll give you a sign that says, hey, pick it up. And so they know what those are. They've got that set. So, again, if you can't find coach on the sideline, especially when there's 20 coaches over there.
Allspaw a little bit picked up here over at Kellogg, but Kellogg right behind.
This is a race where they tend to get a little sloppy on those flip turns and pushing off the wall because you're tired. It is absolutely a strain on you physically. But it's even more important to use your walls and give yourself a break when you can. Allspaw's pushing that lead a little bit farther. Kellogg still holding strong. And Foreman from Ayersville is right there as well.
Five more to go here for our leaders. So it seems like cross country and a distance swim kind of work well together.
Yes, they do. They do. You've got that endurance. Yeah. Looks like Chris has got about 100 left. And Simon coming in as well. Yeah, we'll see the official come over here in a minute with the bell, maybe. Yeah, he's making his way over.
Forgot to ramp for Chris, but
I think the counter was a little bit behind. They look for the red when it's the last lap. I think whoever's counting for Chris didn't quite have it turned around in time. Hopefully Chris is a good counter.
I can't imagine being able to do that. Chris should break his seed time here. It finished at 5:46. His seed time 6:06, so 20 seconds.
That's fantastic. That's a 20-second drop, especially at this point in the season. That's good.
Kellogg will come in with a 5:55.
So a good time.
Clay Marshman over there in lane 2. The swimmer from Hicksville's on his final 50, or his final 25, excuse me. One more 50 for Ayersville here, Kellen Foreman.
I always feel like this race puts a pause in the meet.
Yes.
Just everything slows down for a while. And then they've got to pick it up because we've got relays,
Hundreds.
backstroke, beststroke, and a relay. These are usually pretty high energy.
Yep.
The worst is when somebody swimming this 500 then has to jump into the relay.
And 7:09 for Kellen Foreman. All right, now we jump to relays. Event 17 coming up, the girls 200-yard freestyle.
I think no, I think he may have miscounted. Maybe I jinxed him because I was talking about it. Yeah, his teammates are going to try and stop him.
And he missed it, so he'll get an extra 50. So he'll run
It's
the
a cool down lap
550 tonight.
I feel like he will not be happy when he gets out and learns that he swam extra.
We'll give him a hand for that extra 50. All right. This will be 17, the girls 200-yard freestyle relay. Relays today being brought to you by S&S Directional Boring. Don't let old pipes throw off your pace. S&S Directional Boring installs new main lines, sewer laterals, and feed drainage so your home or farm stays in top form. Call 419-630-0729 today. S&S does it right the first time. All right, in lane 1, Brian C. Lila Brock will start off. And then lane 3, Jalen Mojica for Brian A. And in lane 5, Lily Pittman for Brian B.
This is the fastest relay. This is everybody swims a 50 free.
Ayersville has Gabby Miles in lane 2 and Avery Jones in lane 4.
Jalen will come in and set up that Brian A team to take the lead.
This will be Emma Elkins jump in. And then Eden Elianakian is in, and as is Adeline Hake. Elkins on her way back. Heading in will be Nadia Moore. She's in.
And 5 is the other Elianakian.
Eden. No, Arella. Sorry, Arella is in.
I'm not sure. Down in lane 1, sitting loose.
Yep.
Oh, nope, Sydney Luce is standing over here. I think these relays got adjusted a little bit.
I think you're right.
It was Annie Koonsman diving into lane 4 for Brian. In lane 5, getting ready to dive in is Nicolette Stickney.
Yep, they adjusted him a little bit.
Somebody was probably sick. And over in lane 1, diving in to finish will be McKenna Myers. That's one of those when those illnesses happen, especially in a winter sport where they're constant anyway, and you adjust what you can. If you can keep relays because they're worth more points, that's what you try and fill. So
right,
I think that's why we saw drops in individuals.
Winner in lane 3 will be the Brian A relay at 1:53.75. Second place will be in lane 5. That's the B relay team. And third place will be Ayersville's relay team. They're A. Fourth place will be Ayersville's B, and then Brian C. So this will be event 18, boys 200-yard freestyle. Brian will be in lanes 3 and 5. Lane 3 should be Brennan Roberts, and 5 should be Logan Carter.
I think you're right.
Again, relays today being sponsored by S&S Directional Boring. Ooh, somebody belly flopped on the way in. That can't hurt.
When they get out, we'll see whose stomach's all red. That'll tell you. Ooh, looks like it's going to be a good race between lanes 3 and 4 with Bryan A and Ayersville A. It's that Brendan Roberts and Dylan Tressler. That's a good race.
Zach Schaefer will be heading in here for the Bears. He's in. And then right after is Mason Dota, we're assuming.
Jess Hendricks diving in here in lane 5. This is one where each person has got to be a strong leg. Not much wiggle room in a 50 free. Diving in, Josh Sampson in lane 3. Again, still right there with Ayersville.
Just 0.3 of a second separate them right now.
Hopefully Bryan can hang on to that lead. Every little piece matters in a 50. You have a bad turn, you miss the wall.
Simon Kellogg will head in for the Bears.
And then here for the final leg is Zach Schaefer. Or excuse me, Will McCann. See what he can do.
A lot of water being kicked up there.
That's how you know they're going fast. You see the white.
It's a good race right here. Look at this. Lanes 3 and 4. Bears in 3. Ayersville in 4.
It starts to get loud when they get close. We'll see who touches
first. Looks like Ayersville will sneak it by 0.2 of a second. Wow.
Uh-oh, we've got 2 hands raised, though. Usually that means a disqualification on somebody.
Let's see what that
Bryan,
means.
He's talking to Coach Leach over there.
Let's see what they got here.
See, usually the referees, they'll go and they'll find the swimmer or the team in this case.
They haven't put a D up yet on the sheet. So, or
I think they're going to confer maybe? Yeah, it's got to be dual confirmation.
Let's see what they do here. All right, they disqualified the Bryan team.
Yep, I was afraid of that. That's heartbreaking after you do that work, but I'd rather it happen here than...
This will be the girls 100 back. We have lanes 1, 3, and 5. Victoria Fry in 1, Nora Koonsman in 3, and Lydia Meeks in 5. This will be 2 down and backs for the 100. 4 lengths.
And this is where you'll see those flags. Be very crucial as they come in. Nora's taken an early lead. Is there anything she can't swim?
I don't know. Going to Ohio U to continue her swim career.
Yes, going to be a Bobcat.
Speaking of Ohio U, I think we saw Maggie Voigt.
We did see Maggie Voigt. She was here just a little bit ago. She just ended her tenure there. Very similar swimmers, honestly. Powerhouses in pretty much anything, and just genuinely nice people.
Yep.
It hurts my Miami Redhawk heart a little bit when they go to OU, but I'll let it slide. Nora comes in with a minute .51.
She shaved off 0.3 of a second.
Looks like Lydia Meeks
Oh, maybe
will be
3
coming
seconds.
in.
Excuse me, 3 seconds.
1:14.78 in second. Bit of a battle between the 2 Ayersville girls.
Fry on her last 12 and a half. I get that right, half of a 25, 12 and a half.
I teach English,
That's
not math.
true.
Just kidding, I do know that basic math. But I did not know. I think a lot of people think backstroke's a better stroke to swim because your mouth's out of the water and there's the illusion you can breathe. Nope, that water gets right in your mouth, in your nose.
Event 20, boys 100-yard backstroke. Logan Carter's in 1. Griffin Bame is in 3, and Carter Luce is in 5. Four lengths again in this race.
And you will have seen, especially Griffin Bame down there in lane 3, had a really good underwater. You're the fastest underwater, and the farther you can go there. He had a great takeoff. Beautiful streamline, got him a good chunk down the pool.
And he is moving right now. Whew.
When you're swimming just backstroke, then you can turn over and do the regular flip turn. It's only that rule in that first medley relay going from backstroke to breaststroke, or the IM, excuse me. Yep, I think Griffin's going to hang on to that lead. Carter Luce has a good distance between him and the Ayersville swimmer for second. Wow, Griffin finishes with a 58.28.
Wow.
It's about 3 seconds off his time. Carter Luce coming in with a 107.57.
Logan Carter getting cheered on by his teammates over there.
Yeah, like I said, this is his first year swimming. He's trying it out. He's still learning the strokes. But you'll see his teammates down there are cheering him, and that's, again, one of the great things about this sport and this team is that camaraderie.
The person in lane 4 must not have activated their time because it's still running.
Must have missed the touchpad.
All right, 21, we head to the breaststroke now. Girls 100-yard. Sydney Luce should be in 1, Emma Elkins in 3.
Good starts from those Bryan swimmers. Again, using that streamline and a breaststroke, you get one pull underwater, which really pushes you forward, like Emma just did. Over there in lane 3, had a great underwater.
Sydney right there with her.
They're having a pretty good race right there.
Halfway through. So much underwater.
There is. And it's all about trying to propel yourself forward. Emma's doing a really good job getting her head forward and her shoulders. Sydney too. This is one where the officials, they're making sure that the swimmer's legs are completing the breaststroke kick appropriately, that they're getting their arms out in front of them, that they're touching the wall with both hands.
119.40 for Elkins. Luce comes in second. with a 126. And Adelaide Cobden from Ayersville will come in third. And then the boys will do it.
22, boys, 100-yard breaststroke.
Bears have Will McCann in lane 3, Jess Henricks in 5.
Good starts. Really using that underwater. And the trick to coming in on the wall for a breaststroke is you want to stay low. A lot of swimmers have that tendency to almost pull themselves up on the wall to catch a breath.
McCann in second. It's a good battle here between lanes 2 and 3. 4 in there as well.
Well, they all took off at about the same. We'll see who can hang on to it.
They're all kind of 1, 2, 3 right there, aren't they?
See, coming into this last part of this 25. It's going to be a race. It's going to be who can touch it first. Looks like Ayersville.
Yep, Ayersville got it right ahead. Look how close those are.
Just right there.
109.95, 110.29, and 110.57.
Just right there. That was a great race.
It was. All right, now we head to the 400 freestyle. This will be the last 2 races, event 23. It's girls 400, so they're each going to do 100 here.
23, girls 400-yard freestyle.
And
each swimmer will do 100 freestyle.
Yep. Bears are in 1, 3, and 5. Lane 3 is the A relay. Lane 5, the B relay. Lane 1 is the C relay. Now we've had some shuffling along since Kate Moss isn't here tonight, so.
I think these are pretty on target though. Lane 1 was Victoria Fry. Lane 3, Nora Koonsman. Lane 5, Lily Pittman. So far, so good.
Ayersville with 1. Their A team. Avery Jones is their runner. Or their swimmer, I should say.
Nora's taken that A relay out to an early lead.
She just broke the school record at something. Do you remember what it was? It was just this week. I'll have to look up.
Yeah, it was just the other week. I knew it was one that she'd been chasing since last year.
Let's see. I'll see if I can find it.
And she's going to come in, taking off in that A relay. Next is Drew Smith, another senior. In lane 5, coming in is Lily Pittman. Off the blocks will be Nicolette Stickney.
100 butterfly. So this is so the 100 butterfly is what she broke. Nora beat it by 7/100ths of a second.
They're tight.
Held
those
by
times.
Maggie Voigt.
In lane 1 down there, I couldn't tell who that was that dove in, replacing Kate Moss. I think it was maybe Eden Alinikin, but I'm not positive. But that Brian A has a pretty commanding lead. With Drew Smith coming in, Lydia Meeks will swim the next leg. Yeah, that's Eden down there in lane 1.
Glad you could tell with the swim caps and the goggles.
Well, I only guessed because the heat sheet says that Arella is in this other
Oh, okay.
one. I could be wrong. I feel bad when I can't tell them apart. And I even have twins, and I know how frustrating that is, but I have not learned the trick yet. Diving here in lane 5 was Lila Brock. Swimming the third leg for the C relay in lane 1 will be freshman McKenna Myers. Lydia is coming into the wall for that A team. Taking off on the blocks for the final leg will be Sydney Luce.
It's got to be rough being the coach's kid.
I bet. And I mean, those two have been around it since birth.
Yeah.
Lila Brock finishing her leg here in lane 5, diving in. Arella Alianakian. In lane 1, McKenna Myers is finishing up her turn. Diving in to finish, looks like it'll be senior Emma Elkins over in lane 1. Sydney will be coming in and finishing.
So Bears get first and second. A relay first, B relay second.
Oh, I don't think B is finished
no,
yet.
sorry.
Yeah, she's getting, no, you're fine. I think this Ayersville team's coming in second. Nope, I was wrong too. We need the counters like in the
That's right.
500.
The clicker there.
Or just to pay better attention. Now the B team is taking second as Arella finishes.
Okay, 4:53.01. So about 40 seconds. Split those.
I think what coach might be doing is mixing up relays, just trying to feel for a different lineup.
Bears come in third as well.
Just trying all different combinations.
And Ayersville will wrap things up. We're here to the final event of the evening, the event 24 boys 400 freestyle relay. Bears will be in lanes 3 and 5. The A team will be in 3 and the B team will be in 5.
Looks like the first leg for the A team in lane 3 is Brendan Roberts. For the B team in lane 5 is Pedro Lugo.
And relays tonight brought to you by S&S Directional Boring.
Pretty good race there between Bryan's A and Ayersville's A. They've got some good sprinters.
They do.
Brendan just a little bit ahead.
First 50 done.
As Brendan brings the A team in to finish his leg, diving in will be senior Carter Luce. Another good matchup. Ayersville B just sent their second leg in. Getting ready to swim the second leg for the Bryan B will be Logan Slattery. We're in lane 5. loose has pulled away just a little bit as he finishes his 100. Diving in for that A relay in lane 3 will be Josh Sampson. Slattery's finishing up his leg, and diving in lane 5 will be Zach Schaefer. Who's already making up some ground next to that Ayersville team.
Yes.
I think he's a full 50 behind. Josh is bringing in his, and for the final leg for Brian A will be Griffin Bame in lane 3. Ayersville right behind him. So it'll be between lanes 3 and 4 for first and second. Griffin's taking it a little bit ahead. We'll see if Carrier from Ayersville, what he's got in him. Yeah, he's a full body length now.
Yep.
That's where those walls are important. Use it every chance you can get. Yeah, he's taking that first. I would venture to say he could probably swim a little bit faster than that too.
3:39.71. Bears come in first place with that A relay. Ayersville's in second, 3:44.
Chris Ospaul here in lane 5, finishing for the B team. Chris will finish strong, and he'll get that B relay into third place with a, I'm not sure what time.
I don't think that one stopped. We've got the split time. There we go. It was less than a 4:30.
Yeah. It'll pop up here in a minute.
I don't think it was 4:36.
I don't think so. I think it was in the 420s somewhere.
Well, that'll include this evening's swim meet. Want to thank our sponsors bringing you the match tonight. They include the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral and Crematory, and Veterans Services of Williams County. Want to thank our broadcast crew bringing you the game tonight. My partner in crime, Kathryn Rockey. Our director was John Dalrymple. Robotics, Gabby Malanga. Cameras, Monica Menez and Trinity Sampson. Want to thank everybody at Bryan High School for their efforts. Make sure you check out bryansports.com. We'll have the final results right on bryansports.com. We'll get you all those details. Final thoughts from Kathryn Rockey.
Thanks for having me on. It was great to watch these kids doing a sport that they love, and I'm excited to see where they go from here.
We will have another one in January as Bowling Green will come to town here at the Williams County Family YMCA. For all of us at the Golden Bear Sports Network, I am Chris Malanga. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night, everybody.